Welcome back! In our last video we took a peek at the progress the stonemason was making with the gable end wall. And just to show how time consuming a task this is, you can see he's still working on it. Although he is making progress. With most of the cement and paint render removed, he's using a needle gun which gently vibrates the surface of the stone to loosen the thinner layers of remaining paint residue. Most of the old cement mortar has also been raked out, and it has come to light that some of the stone is missing in areas and had simply been patched up with cement mortar previously. And some of the stones were just so damaged due to being saturated with moisture that they simply crumbled away once the mortar was removed. This has left holes in the outer stone wall, which the stonemason will fill with stone before he starts to repoint with lime mortar, but in the meantime we've just packed the holes with old newspaper to try and keep out some of the wind and rain. In addition to this, the stonemason has also discovered that the wood underneath the roof that sits on top of the stone wall is rotten, probably due to the stone wall being wet for so long. So he's advised us to call out a roofing expert to investigate. It was absolutely freezing in this living room last night, so because of the holes that I've just showed on the outside of the wall where some of the stones have fallen through, until the stonemasons are able to repair those, in the meantime an arctic blast wind is blowing through those holes in the outside of the wall and right through the fireplace. So we were sitting here last night with the heating on full blast, the central heating that is on full blast, and it was still freezing. So as you can see just behind me there, we've ended up blocking up the fireplace temporarily with sheets of cardboard and propping it up with these kind of old wooden poles just to try and keep some of the draft out. But also what's happening is, as the stonemasons are working on the outside, loose stone and mortar, so pieces of rubble, are falling down the chimney into the fireplace and out onto the floor just here and making an absolute mess. And the cottage is just smelling of really old smoky soot from the chimney. Even though we had the chimney swept not that long ago, it's just the old rubble and things that's falling down because it's just really old and everything's a little bit loose up there. That's why the chimney sweep advised us to have a liner installed in the chimney and replace the open fire with a log burner stove or a multi-fuel burning stove. So until that happens, this fireplace is pretty much out of bounds at the moment and will be covered up with this cardboard just to keep the draft out. Whose idea was it to move to an old cottage? No, I'm only kidding. We love it. We absolutely love it. It's not without its challenges, but we wouldn't change it for the world. Would we, Benji?
It's good, isn't it? Huh? It's good.
So as you can see, work is progressing on the stone wall. They're doing well. It's taken quite a while, but they're slowly getting there. One half has been totally stripped of all the paint and everything. They've still got the other side to do. They have discovered the eaves. There was some rot on some of the wood, so we had to get a roof. So Johnny got a roofer out last week to have a good look at it, see what the prognosis was, what we've got to do with it, or how bad or how good it is. So hopefully we'll find out that it's not so bad news, fingers crossed. Johnny?
Yep.
What was the prognosis with the roof?
The roofer?
Yeah.
So the roofer came out, climbed up and basically took first few rows of tiles off just to see how far back the rotten wood was. So it's not what I thought. I thought the kind of wooden beams went up and then down the other side, kind of sitting on top of the stone wall where it goes like that to a point.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It runs that way.
Okay.
So he took the first few rows of tiles off, and what he said is it's only the ends of the planks that are rotten, and it's dry rot. He thinks it's dry rot.
Right.
So he took the first few planks off, and he said that further back, the part that is still sitting on the stone wall is fine. It's dry and it's really solid because the stone wall's so thick.
Yeah.
It's only the very ends. So he said we can have that fixed if we want. He can come back out and do that and give us a quote and everything. He said, but to be honest, he's like, you're as well probably just patching it up. He said it's probably not going to get any worse, in the next 10 to 20 years.
Right.
As long as the solid beam is sitting on the stone wall, which it is because the walls are so thick. It doesn't matter if the end bit has got a bit of dry rot.
Okay.
That's what he said anyway. So it can just be either kind of patched up, or we can get them out to, just pay the money and get them out to do it. So we need to just make that decision. So I asked him, what would you do? You're the expert. And like I said, he said, if it was my house, I probably wouldn't bother. I would probably just patch it up because it's fine. It's not as bad as we thought it was going to be.
Oh, that's good.
So the other thing he said was, round the front of the cottage on the roof, there's kind of like a crack. Not a crack, it's where the
roof joins at that funny angle.
Yeah, so basically, sometimes what they do, the roofers, when they kind of building the roof, one roofer will start at one end, the other roof will start at the other end, and then they'll meet in the middle. And where that join is, they just kind of fill that with mortar.
Right.
So because we took all that moss off the other week,
it's exposed.
The moss was kind of holding this crumbled mortar together, and now we took the moss off, the crumbly mortar's fallen out, and rainwater will be getting in. So he said that will need doing, so you can come out and do that. And there's just another bit just on the top of the roof there, right at the very top, above your workshop, where the mortar's crumbled a bit, and so he said he can come out and resolve that.
Okay.
But that's fine. You're talking like £100 or something to resolve that. The main thing is the roof issues aren't as bad as what we initially thought they were going to be.
Thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
Half the roof stripped off.
I know. So what do you think of that? Do you feel a bit more of a relief?
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to go and work even more to afford all that.
I know. So that's good. Good news.
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's good news because it means more bonios for Labradors, doesn't it?
You don't need any more bonios.
Or more toys from IKEA.
You're not having any more toys. You've got enough toys.
So, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but we pointed out what appears to be a bricked up doorway. I don't know if you can see it there, just behind the scaffolding. So I posted a picture of it a couple of weeks ago, and everybody has been given suggestions on what it could be. Well, our stonemason, Alan, has come up with some interesting news. So do you want to tell us what you just told me, Alan?
Well, I'd posted on social media pictures of it, and majority of people have come back saying that it's definitely been a doorway at one point, like I originally thought. The window's a later addition, and where we've stripped off the paint, there was actually a line running up both sides, just below where the original roof is. So at one point there's been a building joined onto the side here as well. And the doorway would have been the access in and out of the previous buildings. And so the window and the chimney's obviously a later addition. When? Nobody will probably ever know, but...
That's fascinating. So there was another building joined onto the end of the cottage, and that was the doorway through. And the window was added later on, and even the fireplace and the chimney breast was added later on at some point. There we go. Mystery solved, potentially.
feeling at him. And he's not feeling great. He's
Full of...
quite under the weather at the moment.
So this will kill me coming outside.
Fresh air will do you good though. Just slow down a little bit, I think. A slightly slower pace for a while to try and recover, yeah. So the stonemason has some interesting potential fact about the cottage.
That it was bigger.
Yeah?
Well, it wasn't. There was another building added onto it, or there was a building and part of it originally, or at some point in time.
Yeah, yeah. So that potentially solves the mystery with the secret door. I would never have considered that there was another building attached to it at some point, just because the window's there. But as he said, if the window was added afterwards, it completely makes sense. Yeah, yeah. And another interesting fact, potential interesting fact, obviously we need to verify it. So I was talking to some of the one of the locals in the village the other day, and we were talking about the age of the cottage. And I'd said, all along I've been saying we're moving to a 174-year-old stone cottage in Scotland. So after talking to the stonemason, he said, no. He said, this is definitely way older than 174 years old. He said, you can tell by the stone. So I was talking to one of the locals in the village, and he suggested going to the local library and see if we can find out any more history about the cottage. And he suggested that a lot of the other buildings in the cottage were built in the 1600s. Holy cow! And here is me saying, oh, 174-year-old cottage. It could be like hundreds and hundreds of years old. That's interesting. We need to find that out. Actually, it makes sense. It does look really old. Thinking about it now, it looks older than 174 years old, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think now the paint's been stripped off it, you can see its true age underneath.
Yeah, yeah. So that's potentially something we should do. You know, go to the library, reach out to somebody, see if we can find out a little bit more about the history of the place, and see if we can identify the approximate age. Yeah, because on the land registry, it says the age of the building circa 1850s. So there's no absolute year of when it was built. So that's why I assumed it was 174 years old. What the stonemason was saying is that's probably only when it was registered with the land registry. Is 1850s.
Because there would have been one before.
Yeah, so it could be way older than that. He thinks it's older than 1850s. It's just that's when it was registered. Fascinating, isn't it? We need to find out more about this.
Hold you warm, I'll hold you tight. This world is cold when you leave my side. You're the only one to bring me back the sun. I'm falling. I need a life that Jesus does.
What you're up to?
Oh, hello. I'm hiding.
Ooh, that's new.
Tis new. Do you like it?
I do, yeah.
It's a bespoke made for a lady who saw one I made a while ago. But she wanted it in, see if I could find one in black and brass to match her decor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with a bit of fiddling about, it is just about ready.
That looks really cool.
I like these because they're really unusual.
We haven't done one of these in ages. We had one before that was it was all brass, wasn't it? With a big light bulb on.
Well, the reason I haven't done one for a while is because you can't find them.
Mm.
They're quite rare. So it's finding one in good condition you can restore enough to, because these bits, like the mouthpiece, because they're quite delicate, are usually broken or damaged. But this one's come up quite well. So it's going to have
A nice big statement bulb.
a big statement bulb. And just for a bit of fun, in the mouthpiece, a little bulb.
Oh, how cool is that?
So I think she'll be quite happy with that. And there's a dimmable as well, so you can, wherever my dimmer is, which is somewhere in this room.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit
Bright.
blown out on the video, I think.
And
There we go, that's better. Very good.
good, isn't it?
It is. You clever man.
That still works.
I'm pretty sure the original one that we did of this, though, was my idea, if I do say so myself.
Benjamin, do you agree?
It's a team effort. Isn't it, Benji? It's a team effort.
And I've got some little camera lamps to make, and then the mannequin has lost its head.
Ah, she's lost her head.
She fell off.
Yeah.
Benji, it's a ball for you.
Creepy little thing.
I think it'll look cool when I finish with it. Because it's going to have a light instead of the head.
It's going to have a light instead of the head.
Yeah. So I've been messing about, and it's going to have
Oh, wow.
that on top
Oh, that's cool.
with a light and everything inside it.
With a fancy bulb inside.
Mm-hmm.
A vintage style bulb. How cool is that?
They're a bit funky, aren't they?
They definitely are. It's definitely going to be out there.
But some other cool shop in the window. They can put their business cards in the hand, or in a funky restaurant,
That would look.
hotel, or just someone's house that's really cool.
I could just see that standing in some kind of quirky vintage style shop in the West End.
But yeah, so that's another one.
Very good.
Now I've got my workshop organised.
It's a little bit more organised than my office is.
Isn't it, Benj? Hey, it's good for dogs. Is it? Or is it a bit boring up here for dogs?
It's a bit boring, isn't it, Benji?
You alright?
Full of cold.
It's all
Thank you.
long hours you've been working. You're probably run down.
Just a bit. Never mind.
Yeah, never mind.
I'll survive.
It's the holiday soon. You'll be looking forward to a bit of time off.
Sleeping.
Sleeping through the whole of the Christmas period. So we've got a couple more shout outs for a couple more members. Our latest members: Rosemary, Jill, Jepoy or Jepoy, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that, and Anna. So thank you very much for joining us, guys. And so we have one more question from one of our members. Sandra Mitchell, she says, first of all, great video. The chimney sweep brought back so many memories of my childhood in Glasgow. Our sweep was a tall, thin man who was always covered in soot no matter what time of day. One night the chimney went on fire, and her parents let her up out of bed to watch the firemen put it out. Very exciting at the age of 6. Imagine that.
Really can't be doing with a chimney fire.
She says the gable end is looking far better, and it'll be amazing when it's all done. Bath time with Benji sounds like a great idea for a TV show. What? Do you want to be on TV, Benji?
Got a bath.
And she also has a question. So the question is, how did we both meet, and how long have we been together? And apologises if that's a little bit too nosy. That's not nosy, is it? We've been together 5 years, just over 5 years.
Yep.
And we actually met through mutual friends. So that was very good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice to have good friends sometimes who can introduce you to other people who you would never have otherwise met. So yeah, that's short and sweet answer to that question, Sandra. Thanks for that. And no, like you said, it's not nosy at all. It's quite nice that you guys are interested. However, I do need to point out. So there was 2 comments on one of the previous videos. You know one of these comments, but you haven't heard the other one.
Oh.
So one person, I'm not going to say what their name is, their YouTube tag name or anything like that, but they said, you should have stayed in the town. Okay. Nothing seems to please you, and you're bastardising the charm out of the cottage.
Well,
Really?
Everyone has their own opinion, so there we go.
Nothing seems to please you? Do we come across as miserable, as if we're never happy?
That's just me. My normal persona, because I'm always so tired.
And bastardising the charm out of the cottage? We're trying to bring the charm back to the cottage. What are you talking about? We're trying to get rid of the more modern features and take it back to its natural beauty. I've no idea how somebody can make a comment like that anyway.
Never mind.
And then another comment. I'm trying not to focus too much on the negativity here, but sometimes you just, for every 1,000 comments, you will get that one negative comment, and it just riles me up, even though I know I shouldn't let it get to me. But this comment from I wouldn't say a follower, clearly not a follower, but has seen the video. The comment goes, no wonder Scotland is polluted with English people. Why come to Scotland anyway? It's not your home. Second home more second home snobbery. So no wonder Scotland's polluted with English people. Why come to Scotland anyway? It's not your home. More second home snobbery. Well, I've got to nip this in the bud, because this is not our second home. I wish I could afford a second home. This is our only home. And I've lived up in Scotland for many, many years. I've lived and worked up in Scotland for many, many years. And if you'd bothered to watch one of our previous videos, we've rented for many, many years, worked hard, worked long hours just to save our pennies to afford to, try and save up a mortgage, a deposit for a mortgage. And finally, we've got our own place. Well, the new build was our first home, but yeah, we're definitely not in a position to be, just coming up to Scotland to buy second homes as a little kind of holiday home or anything like that. If that's what you're thinking, that definitely isn't the case. So second home snobbery, I'm so sorry, but you've completely got that wrong. It really isn't.
Yeah, we've worked very long and very hard to save up our pennies to be able to get in the position we are now. So.
Yeah. It's quite disheartening when you see comments like that, though, because we have worked really, really hard, and sacrificing nights out and holidays and doing without things just to try and save enough money for a deposit. But anyway, let's not let that get to us.
I'm thick-skinned.
You are, yeah. I see it and I'm like,
I'm like, everyone's got their own opinion. It's fine.
I know. But we're very happy with how the stonemasonry work is going.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will be the final week. Hopefully this will be the week they start line pointing it. Because
I'd say 2 more weeks.
2 more weeks, really?
There's a lot of work still to do.
We're starting to get water. We're meant to be dry. The whole purpose of doing this was to dry out the stone wall. Yeah, it feels like the stone wall's getting wetter because they've raked out all the old mortar, and there's like holes and gaps where the some of the stones have kind of fallen out. So Adam noticed there was rainwater coming through on the inside of the wall a little earlier on.
Yeah,
so
it literally is running down the
running down the
area.
inside of the stone wall, which isn't good. So yeah, hopefully we'll get there slowly but surely. If it takes another week, if it takes another 2 weeks, so be it. It is what it is. But yeah, as long as we can get the cottage nice and cosy, warm and damp free,
That's the main thing.
and it'll look really nice when it's done as well.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to go and fix a bird feeder.
Yeah. Have you seen the bird feeder? You can tell we've had some stormy weather up here lately, can't you?
Was it Labradors trying to get on the birds?
Was that you, Benji, trying to get the bird food? Huh?
Wasn't
What's that for you trying to get the bird food?
Right,
Come on then.
you going to come and help me? Hey?
Well, that was fun, but the jobs around the cottage won't do themselves, so it's back to the grindstone. Starting with replacing the mirror in the ensuite with one that is high enough for us two tall lads to actually see our faces when brushing our teeth or shaving. The roofer does some minor but essential roof repairs, raking out the remaining crumbling mortar and repointing to keep the rain out. We collect a pair of old salt glazed troughs that we bought from a nearby farm. These will make fantastic planters to sit either side of a vintage railway platform bench that we plan to upcycle next year. And Adam attempts to fix the bird feeder that blew over and snapped in a recent storm.
How are you going to fix it? He's cable tied it.
I don't have anything else.
It might work.
Might not.
All the food these birds are getting, Benji. Are you jealous? Huh? Are you jealous?
And after all that, Benji ends up at his favourite place, behind the bar at the pub next door, pulling pints for doggy treats. Benji, are you pulling us a pint? Huh? Can I have 2 pints, please?
Oh, that sunset's quite cool, isn't it?
It's amazing.
Oh, wow. Times like this just really, really makes you appreciate living out here, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Even though it's -5.
Even though it's -5. I should have put my hat on. My head's freezing. Benji's having a great time though. But, well, it's that time again, folks. Once again, thank you very much for watching. I think we're going to leave it here for now.
Yep. See what next week brings.
Yeah. And we look forward to seeing you all again next week.
Bye for now.
Bye.